Okay, it's Monday. And yeah, I'm crying. So what else is new? Oh, goodness. Well, so I think I've explained to you guys some parts of what happened when I was growing up. I was basically raised from first 5 years with my grandparents, which gave me a complete wonderful upbringing in the ways of the world, specifically from my grandmother's view of God. She never stopped going to church, ever. So I never questioned it. We went with her every once in a while to their women's club meetings. We got to stay in the kitchen, of course, but I saw how they treated her because basically she was the person that had to make the snacks and make the coffee and the teas and stuff like that. So she was allowed to be part of their women's group, but not really in the women's group because we lived in a really ritzy part of town across the street, though. We were across the street. So my grandmother never was accepted into those ladies' clubs because we didn't have enough money. Little did they know that even though they were married to doctors, dentists, and lawyers, my grandfather worked for NASA and aerospace, and he was working on the the spy satellites. He worked on Gemini, was smarter than all of them combined, had only a sixth grade education, was from Germany, spoke German and his whole life, except for around he did around when he visited his parents and his sisters and brothers. They all spoke German, aunts and uncles. None of them spoke English, according to my mother, because I was not born until 1964, and my grandfather was already, I don't know, he already looked old to me, but my mother said he always looked that age from the time she was born. So, my grandmother lived to 98, had a full life. My grandfather unfortunately died from a massive heart attack after he retired from Lockheed Missiles and Aerospace. He was using up his sick time. He died the day before he signed his final paperwork. So they only gave my grandmother half of his pension, which was nothing anyway. And it was this man who did so much was given so little. But he was... The reason I'm crying is because we need to get to this, because you know how YouTube is. They'll cut my videos short. Anyways, watching a program on people that are finding their way back to God. And recently I've been trying very hard to do that too, because of what happened to me with my mother's second husband. And him taking me to church, and the Monsignor doing what he did, and then coming to our home and stuff. And in a way, I'm thankful that it only happened from 5th grade, 6th grade, because my mother finally left him when my grandfather did have that massive heart attack. It just so happened to coincide with the fact that she was having an affair with somebody at the same time. Anyway, the Oakland diocese finally settled with our law firms, and they're just hammering out the final details. They want to pay over 5 years, and the lawyers want their money now. So they're trying to get them to pay all of it now, which means I would get this check. And I thought that check would automatically make God come back into my life, when I now just realized that God could have came back in my life at any time, and that check means nothing. All I wanted them to do was say they were sorry for not helping a little girl who was in so much pain. Why did I have to go through all that horrors, the horrors of knowing that the God that I thought loved me so much since I was little had turned his back on me and allowed these evil people who were high in the church do what they did. The man that molested me was Monsignor, and he was good friends with the Pope back in the 70s. So he was changed from one place to the next, and he wouldn't stop. They had to finally send him to the seminary to keep him away from little girls. That's how sick he was. And they covered for him. No amount of money will take away those memories. No amount. There's nothing that will take that away. Nothing. Do you have to go out? Mindy. No, you're not getting any more food. This is crazy, girl. No, put that cup down. Mins, you can't come outside with your cup. How am I going to feed you if I don't have your cup? Mindy. Look at her. What a joy. Anyways. Yeah, so I'm having a hard day because sometimes you sit there and you realize that I didn't need I don't need the money. I really don't. I have a blessed life. I can buy anything I want anytime. My husband is a wonderful man who treats me so fair. Overly fair, I might add. To me, it seems like I don't deserve him. And he gets so mad when I say that, but that's what my family said too. But anyway, so I'm trying to find my way back to God. And I only realized that he's always been there. He was just waiting for me to accept him. And I'm never going to get that sorry, but I have to be okay with it. So, all that time I spent pissed off at the world when I was in school, all the horrible things that I did, all the drugs and the alcohol, all the times I almost killed myself. Those times didn't have to happen if I would have just said it's okay not to get an apology. I want to tell so many people, I'm so sorry for hurting them. I'm so sorry for doing what I did. I was just messed up in the head, and sometimes I think I still am. Because I live in the past instead of the future or the present. Sometimes I just don't live at all. Lock myself away inside this house and not leave it. That's the worst part of it. Sometimes I'm not living. What do I need to do to change, you know? I don't know. It's always a what if with me. I'm the what if girl. Anyway, peace out, guys. Have a happy Monday. I'm going to try and put a smile on.